It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, your emails at randykabc@gmail.com. Give me a follow on social media at Randy Wang Radio and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. The great experiment has begun in Santa Monica. Last weekend was the first weekend where you could put on a wristband if you're over 21 years of age, and you could go to the 3rd Street Promenade and you could do some Bourbon Street style bar hopping, where you order a drink, they give it to you in a plastic cup, and you could take that drink wherever you want to go within the confines of the 3rd Street Promenade. Is it a happening thing? Are people enjoying this? Is this bringing downtown Santa Monica back to life? I don't know. Let's find out. Here is a report from KCAL.
Well, we are now a couple of weekends into the new program, letting people drink outside in parts of Santa Monica. KCAL News reporter Lauren Posen joins us now live, and she's been checking in on how it's going and whether it's busy like leaders hoped it would be, Lauren.
You know, I'm someone that does like to have the occasional day drink, especially when I'm on vacation or in one of my 2 spots that I frequent. I'm in Dallas a lot because my wife has family there. And there is something real special about going for happy hour or lunch at Mi Cocina, getting some of that queso blanco with brisket in it, endless chips and salsa, having a couple of ranch waters, dogs sitting on the patio. It's a good time. In Santa Fe, oh boy, which I am going to in less than 24 hours, I like to have my early drinks at the shed, sitting on the patio. If it's winter, go sit up at the bar. As soon as they open at 11 o'clock, it's time for the Burn Margarita, which is their spicy margarita, and it is so good. But I don't really understand the appeal of how all of this gets elevated by you taking that drink out of the bar or the restaurant, because that's where the fun is. I mean, now I'm walking around with my drink and it's not in a nice glass anymore because they're not going to let you walk around with glassware. I don't know. I don't really understand the appeal. It seems to me that if you want to drink and shop, you finish your drink at the bar and then you go shopping. I don't know.
Well, Pat, because this program is still so new, people are still kind of figuring out what days they want to come on by. Friday nights, not too busy, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I talked to a bartender.
Isn't that supposed to be the busy night?
Not too busy, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I talked to a bartender, and he told me this is really just the warm-up for the weekend, because Saturday and Sunday, it's a whole different vibe. It's a new era at the 3rd Street Promenade.
We've been here since like 12. It's already 6.
Oh, boy.
12. It's already 6.
Maria Del Poto is playing tour guide for her friends from Texas.
I love it. I've never seen so much kind of like freedom, the fun of going to a bar, but then getting to shop, being with your friends.
But you can do that at almost any shopping center. The only difference here is that you can carry the booze around with you. All right. It just doesn't seem like that monumental of a thing. These people are from Texas. There are plenty of great shopping centers in Texas that usually end up having a Mi Cocina. Really like that place. You go get your ranch water on, you get your drink on, then you go shopping around. You're hanging out with your friends. It's a good time. I don't see how it's that much more elevated by you taking the beverage from shop to shop. I guess you get a lot of variety, but I don't know. I find 1 or 2 places that I like, and then I stay there. I'm one of those people. I like to get to know the bartender, like to make friends with them, like to learn what kind of drinks they like. And then if the relationship develops and they want to pour me something just so I can try it, who am I to say no? It always is great when you feel like you have a real connection with a bartender over, Very common subject. Mutual love of alcohol.
Santa Monica's new entertainment zone is at the top of the list.
There's different options. Like you can go to the stores and you can drink, and then stores again. Tattoo. We just got a tattoo.
Oh, boy. These people are obviously in their 20s. Because if your ideal LA vacation is go to the 3rd Street Promenade, load up on vodka orange juices that are in a sippy cup that you can walk around the promenade with, then you're getting a tattoo. Good for you. I'll see you when you're in your 30s and you regret it.
The pilot program's been live for about a week now, letting people sip drinks from approved restaurants while they wander the 3-block stretch between Wilshire and Broadway.
I was so surprised that we could walk with our drinks. And then they gave us the wristbands.
The entertainment zone kicks off every...
See, it's like a party. It says it right in the name. Entertainment zone. Is there like live music? You know, things that you walk around. If you want to make it feel like a music festival, there's got to be more things to do than like, ooh, we can go to the bookstore. Okay. We can go. I actually need to look. What is even in the 3rd Street Promenade right now? Because I know a lot of places have, they've gone bye-bye. Santa Monica, 3rd Street Promenade. So let's find out, what are the locations? What are the things you can do in the 3rd Street Promenade? Because you can't just go from bar to bar to bar, because that's not the point, right? The point is that you're supposed to go do all the fun things, all the things to do. Well, at the 3rd Street Promenade, there are restaurants. There's a Starbucks. There's a Chinese place. Oh, there's a pickleball thing. I don't know if you're supposed to do that one while you're drinking. You can visit the Lucky Penny General Store. Centinela Feed and Pet Supplies. Oh, boy, you know, there's nothing I've ever wanted to do more than slam a bunch of tequila and go buy cat food. What exactly is the point to all this? I mean, because you can't take it, like, to the pier. You know, you can't go on the rides there. You can't take it to the beach. You got to stay within the promenade. So what exactly is there to do? You can go hat shopping. There's a nail shop. Okay, maybe this is what it's all about. You're going to have a 2-foot-tall daiquiri, and you're going to get your nails done. There's a pharmacy. Okay, now I understand it. What you need to do is you need to go into one of the bars at the 3rd Street Promenade, get your wristband, and then you want to get one of those Yard House-sized beers. And then you're going to take that with you when you wait in line for the pharmacy to get your medication. Am I getting too old? I don't get it. Oh, there's an e-bike shop. Yeah, they don't want you drinking there. Comparto Yarn Salon. Okay, maybe you're going to drink and then you're going to take up crocheting. I don't really understand what this is for or who's going to do it, but hey, if this is going to encourage people to frequent your establishments, I guess it's a good thing.
The entertainment...
So far, we haven't heard of any crime situations.
The entertainment zone kicks off every Friday through Sunday. Now, depending upon when you show up, you're in for a completely different experience. This is what it looked like last Saturday afternoon.
We got our yard glasses, and then they put our lip.
Oh, look at this. There's a Peloton store at the 3rd Street Promenade. So you can get loaded on booze, feel guilty about how fat you're getting because of all the booze, and then you go look at a Peloton. Okay. That's fun. Here we go. There's a Kiehl shop. You're drinking so heavily at the 3rd Street Promenade that your skin is starting to break out. So you need to go in and get some face cream. There's a Target. Okay. I wonder what it'd be like to wander around a Target drunk. Feel like people might make some impulse purchases.
And then they put our lid on it. We can take these and walk all around the promenade, and so far it's been a great time.
The program is already inspiring other cities like Long Beach to implement similar programs.
it hasn't really shown any success yet. I don't know. Maybe this is the thing we need to revitalize our downtowns, to revitalize people going out because we all became shut-ins during COVID. We need the entertainment zones where you can take your plastic cup full of booze and go from shop to shop to shop to shop. I'm just curious to the listening audience out there. Maybe you live in Santa Monica. Maybe you live in Long Beach. Maybe you live in a place that hasn't considered this yet. Do you want to see entertainment zones come into your part of town? 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. Maybe, and I'm not trying to be completely sarcastic here, maybe I just don't get the appeal, but maybe you do. Do you want to see an open container entertainment zone coming to your town? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. They're already doing it in Santa Monica. They're thinking about doing it in Long Beach. Maybe they go to the Belmont Shores. Although if you're in Long Beach, you just go to Gladstone's and you stay there because the food and the drinks are great and the views are gorgeous.
The program is already inspiring other cities like Long Beach to implement similar programs. Now, drinks have to stay within the zone, but when alcohol is involved, some do worry about what could happen.
You know, people drink too much and then they do dumb things.
And there is definitely something to think about with if you're going to all these different establishments, nobody's gauging exactly how many drinks that you've had. Now, bartenders are professionals, and if you walk in noticeably sloshed, they're not going to serve you. Doesn't matter if you have the wristband, but oh boy, I just don't think I get it.
And then they do dumb things, and it could turn into something that's not good. And I hope it doesn't happen, but, you know, I'm going to enjoy it until we can't.
And so far, so good on that front. No reported problems. So here's the deal. The entertainment zone is open Friday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay, so it's not the original plan, which was like 8 a.m. to midnight. You have to wait until 11, a respectable hour to start getting loaded on a Saturday.
And you have to get those wristbands, and it's just a certain areas here. You'll see those signs all over. And you have to be 21 years old to take part. Reporting live in Santa Monica, Lauren Posen, KCAL News.
What else can you do at the 3rd Street Promenade? Well, there's a spa. You ever gotten drunk and gotten a massage? That sounds like a terrible idea. There's a liquor market. Maybe you get drunk on something. You're like, you know what? I loved a shot of this. I want the whole bottle. You can go to the farmer's market. I've always wanted to go to a farmer's market slightly loaded. I'm really trying to understand the appeal of this, but maybe I'm becoming quite the square in my old age of almost 40. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. Do you understand the appeal of the entertainment zone at the 3rd Street Promenade? You just heard what it's like there. Are you interested in going? Do you want to see these open container entertainment zones come into your neck of the woods? Give me a call right now. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Do you want to see open container entertainment zones come into your part of town? They're doing it in Santa Monica. They're already thinking of doing it in Long Beach. You heard what they're offering. Are you interested? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Get on the line right now. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. The grand experiment has begun in Santa Monica. It's been a few weekends now of the entertainment zone at the 3rd Street Promenade, where on the weekends you get a wristband and you can take your drink from the bar, walk around, go shopping, go back to the bar, go more shopping, go to the Browsin Brazilian studio after you've had a couple of shots and get everything hairless down there. Why not? Here's my question to you at 800-222-KABC. Do you see the appeal of this, of going and drinking while shopping in downtown Santa Monica. Long Beach apparently wants to copy this. Do you want to see this in your part of town? An entertainment zone where you can drink and take your drink out around and shop and shop and shop. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Kevin in Torrance. Kevin, hello.
Hey, awesome show. Thanks for having me. It's a trip because everybody wants to get their steps in and get some exercise, get some beautiful California sun while they get their drink on. That's what I'm thinking.
The exercise aspect of it, you might have turned me around on this. I do like to walk around and get my steps in.
Yeah, it's a sobriety check while you're walking around. And everybody wants to be seen. It's L.A. You're being seen walking from bar to bar. You're not stuck in just one bar. So everybody's seeing everybody in passing. It's like maybe it's a promenade parade of, possible hookup. Love is in the air.
You got to think about this, too, is if you're going to be loading up on the booze and walking around looking to see who's at the 3rd Street Promenade, make sure you're wearing really good running shoes that have got a lot of traction. This is not a time to be wearing heels.
Good call. Thanks for having me. Bravo.
Thanks so much for the call, Kevin. Appreciate it. All right. I like that. I like the getting your steps in, walking around. Let's go to Richard in L.A. Richard, hello.
Hello, Randy. Great show. I think on the premise, this is a great idea because you have responsible people that drink. And then another thing, just think of the wine that we serve in California. We could present some of those venues as, people enjoy the shopping area and the live entertainment that is available, like in Hollywood. But it's got to be, choreographic so that people will be responsible for the alcohol consumption.
We definitely need to make sure that the people that go to these things are responsible drinkers. But you know what? There is more that could be done with this idea. Thanks so much for the call. Because I don't understand just the straight up, appeal of go drink at the 3rd Street Promenade. Because, you can still do that. You can go to a bar and then you can have a few and then wander around. I don't know if I really want to walk around with a plastic cup, but it is what it is. But, if you think of the entertainment zone more in the aspect of what San Francisco started doing, because they're trying to revitalize downtown. And so they've come up with this entertainment zone model. But it really is, it's more than just, hey, you can drink and walk around. You've got real stuff to do. I mean, this is perfect for if you want to book live music outdoors every day, make it feel like a real festival vibe. Now I'm down. If you've got different stages and, they don't have to be huge stages. This can just be local musicians. That's going to make it more exciting. You heard Richard talk about the wine scene. If you took an area like the 3rd Street Promenade and you decided that because you have this rule and you have the wristbands, that you can bring a whole bunch of little wineries and do kind of almost a mini 3rd Street Promenade wine festival where you've got little stands and you can try some of the great wineries from Santa Barbara or Sonoma or, well, no one can afford Napa, but you understand, Paso wines. That could be a little, I could see something there. I just think there needs to be more to it than the simple, hey, here's the 3rd Street Promenade. And at the 3rd Street Promenade, there's a coin exchange. So get loaded up on your favorite vodka and go change your quarters for nickels. I haven't been there in a while. Maybe we'll figure out a live event to do down there on a Friday. Maybe we can get them to pay for that. And then we'll find out if it's really a good time. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. As you're getting ready to get on the road for this long holiday weekend, make sure you load up on podcasts of this show or the John Phillips Show or any of our shows. Go to KABC.com, click on podcast, go to the Apple Podcast app, iHeart, Spotify, search for the KABC News Blitz, hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes. You can do a Google on the YouTube. Every episode gets posted there. You can like and subscribe and share with your friends. Post the episodes on your Facebook groups. I don't know. We get credit for it. I don't really get paid for it, but it makes us look good. Why not? When we come back, there's some more things that are going on in the world of booze in California, and we're here to cover it. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your emails at randykabc@gmail.com. Give me a follow on social media at Randy Wang Radio and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. Let's go to Jay in Santa Monica. Jay, hello.
Happy 4th, Mr. Randy.
Happy
Don't bother
4th.
coming to Santa Monica. Well, tomorrow. But the beach is polluted, F rating, no fireworks, nothing to do. Stay home.
Is there any summer where that beach isn't polluted anymore?
Well, they had fireworks years ago, but they couldn't control the crowds, so they just gave that up. They thought they had a great idea. 4 a.m. they were going to have the fireworks, but the fog just nobody could see the fireworks, and then nobody showed up. It's just a disaster. There's nothing to do around this place.
Well,
hate to be
no
a bummer.
interest in going to the
Don't
3rd Street
show.
Promenade and getting
Hey,
loaded?
ride the crime train. You could ride the crime train around. That would be fun. Have a good one. Bye.
Oh, boy. That is a free thrill ride right there, getting on that expo line. Thanks so much for the call, Jay. Appreciate it. Now, it is interesting that at the same time you have areas developing these entertainment zones where, you can take your drink from bar to bar in a plastic cup, that you might start seeing more plastic cups at bars for a completely different reason. And that is because a California law went into effect this week that would require bars and restaurants to provide lids for alcoholic beverages upon request. Why? This is an effort to stop people from getting roofied. For more on this, let's go to NBC 7 in San Diego.
With the start of a new month, California bars and nightclubs are now required to provide customers with a drink lid if they ask for one.
So the purpose... I guess that's not going to be a lid on top of a rocks glass at that point.
So the purpose of this new law is to raise awareness and also primarily to help prevent bar drinks from being spiked.
If you got a martini, yeah, sorry, no fancy martini glass for you that hits you on the tip of the tongue the right way. Nope. It's going to, I don't know how they come up with a lid for that.
NBC7's Dave Summers tells us what customers might expect on their next night out.
The state legislature hopes to put a lid on drugged drinks.
Get it?
The new lid law requires bars, nightclubs, and some restaurants to provide proper cover for their barware whenever patrons request it.
And if you remember, this is the second year in a row there's been a law specifically targeting date rape drinks at bars, because it was last year it came into effect that bars and restaurants had to offer test kits so people could put a little pH strip in their drink and find out if it's full of ruhephenol.
If they want to feel like safer in their community, then I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
If you're not familiar with roofied drinks, you probably haven't been to a bar lately.
What are you implying?
I don't leave my drink anywhere. I make sure I have eyes on it at all times.
Derek De Loera says his friend was the unintended victim of such trickery, resulting in a several-hour blank space in his memory.
This lid thing, I hope it works out. No one deserves that.
Wait, that guy accidentally got roofied? Oh no. It is college town.
The names may not sound familiar. Flunitrazepam, Rohypnol, ketamine, and gamma-hydroxy...
Wait, ketamine? That's what Elon takes.
And gamma-hydroxybutyric acid. But they are commonly referred to as date rape drugs. They cause drowsiness, disorientation, and memory gaps. A little over a year ago, bars and restaurants of California were required to provide a test strip for these drugs. This is a second layer of protection, but bars and restaurants here in the Gaslamp did not seem prepared for this change in the law.
It's one of those things where I understand the philosophy behind it. I think a little more advance notice would have been better.
Gaslamp.
Yeah, they don't really do a whole lot of listening with the local vendors to see if this is practical or something that people will actually do. It seems very awkward if you're on a date and you're like, wait, can I get a lid with that? I don't trust this guy.
Gaslamp Quarter Association Executive Director Michael Trimble put out a notice to establishments here just today. Trimble says it's an important extra step
to keep people safe, decrease liability for things that might happen.
And I guess their thought is this is more effective than putting the cocktail napkin or the coaster on top of your lid when you're not directly looking at it. But if it's got a lid, it could also needs to have a straw hole, and you couldn't slip the drink in that way?
In a bar or restaurant that are not under the control of the management.
General Manager of Union Kitchen and Tap on Fifth Avenue, Jim Shank, is expecting a busy 4th of July weekend, especially with the San Diego Padres in town.
I expect a lot of people down here. I don't expect it to really affect my workflow.
Shank says lids are inexpensive and a minimal effort on the bar's part to make people feel safer.
But by the way, part of the law is they can pass on that cost. So how about that? It's going to be 10 cents if you want that lid to protect yourself from this guy.
But he doesn't expect all that many requests.
The amount of people asking for a cover to cover their drinks, I think, is a little less frequent than them maybe grabbing their own napkin and putting it over their drink.
Establishments are also required to post signs that indicate drink lids and drug test strips are available. Failure to comply with this new law could impact owners' ability to maintain their liquor license.
So this is California's continued effort to limit the amount of date rape that goes on out there. The amount of people slipping something into someone's drink and then taking advantage of them. The problem is, I don't really trust the California legislature on this issue, and I don't trust the way that we have looked at this issue over the past decade. Because while we might be doing these things that are incidental to try to prevent this, the drug test strips, the lids on the drinks. Let's not forget that when voters voted on Proposition 47, written by this guy,
Google on YouTube,
we turned the assault sexually of an unconscious person, a date rape, from a serious felony to a misdemeanor.
So we're mindful of all these things, but
so while we're doing all these things to prevent this on one side, for the perpetrators, the scumbags that actually do this to women, there's really not a whole lot of punishment for it. That's where I have a problem with this. And this is a real issue. This is a story I thought of as soon as I saw this story. But about 13 years ago, when I was in my rave phase, when I was going to music festivals and I was doing certain drugs that you really shouldn't be doing, I made some friends, and I made friends with this one girl who was completely out of my league. And I think I knew that. I think the whole world knew it, but we were very friendly with each other, and we'd go to music festivals. I definitely had a little crush on her. And maybe she did for me, but it didn't look like anything was going to happen. So a week after a music festival that we go to, she gives me a call on a Saturday night. And of course, I'm home doing nothing on a Saturday night. And she says, hey, what are you doing right now? I'm in Hollywood. I need you to pick me up. Someone just slipped something in my drink. And so I say, oh my goodness. So I get in my dingy little Scion XD and I race over to Hollywood, and I'm circling around like Sunset and Ivar, and I'm calling her. I'm like, where are you? Where can I find you? All of a sudden she runs out of a bar, runs into a car, jumps into my car, and tries to plant a giant kiss on me. And I'm like, hey, I got to move. We're on the road. I take her home. She has a total meltdown in my apartment because, someone slipped something in her drink to try to take advantage of her. And I'm like, don't worry, everything's going to be okay now. You can sleep. I lived in a studio apartment. I didn't really have anywhere for her to sleep except my bed. And I remember as she was falling asleep, she started to kind of make a move. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I know I know what's happened to her. Even though I have a major crush on this girl, I had to shut that down, which I think was very responsible of me. And like a month later, we ended up hooking up, and it was awful because they don't tell you when you do ecstasy, nothing works down there. There's your lesson for today. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. I am a connoisseur of fine spirits. I like sipping fancy tequila. And, of course, I love my California wine. And the California wine industry is struggling a little bit right now. For more on this, here's NBC in the Bay Area.
Well, uncertainty in the wine industry is driving one small winery to shut down its operations in the North Bay. Today in the Bay's Bob Riddell joining us live from Wine Country and the East Bay. And Bob, look, this uncertainty really could stem from drinking habits of the younger generation. I'm hearing that from a couple of bar owners.
Perhaps, yeah. Good morning to you, Marcus. And also a recent 2025 wine market report by BMO Bank suggests to back up this notion. This report says that baby boomers are aging out of the wine market. Again,
I didn't know you could age out of wine, but maybe you get to a point where you can't afford it anymore and you realize you just want to start drinking straight bourbon.
BMO Bank wine market report from this year, while millennials and Gen Z sit on the sidelines, leading to a decline in wine sales for the past few years.
I will say, and I love my wine, and I have way too many bottles in the house, but when you're talking about the consumption of alcohol, wine every day can be very, very expensive. Also, more than one bottle of wine a night will give you a headache, even with the really good stuff.
In part because wine is too expensive for the younger generation. They also have so many other options nowadays, and some just don't drink alcohol at all. The Press Democrat reports that some wineries up north in the North Bay, they're trying to reconnect with younger drinkers by making their tasting rooms less expensive and more flexible in terms of appointments.
Yeah, that's definitely something that needs to be done. I don't know what happened over the last 5 or 6 years, but tastings, if you go up to Santa Barbara County, go up to Sonoma, Napa, forget it. Napa's been crazy for a while, but tastings are getting very expensive, where these things used to be maybe $20 a person. Now they're $40. You know, some places don't let you bring food. Some places are only available by appointment. And I understand there's some real difficulties going on, especially when it comes to hiring people just to work in these tasting rooms. But it is an expensive habit to get into. I do love it, and I love pairing nice food with nice wine, but I can get how there's a barrier in there.
But as you mentioned earlier, one small winery in the North Bay is shutting down its winemaking operations. We're talking about Jeff Cohn Cellars. They're in Sonoma County. They're known for their Zinfandel and Syrah. Jeff and Alexander.
Oof. You know, I used to really love Zin, but a little too overpowering for me, a little too fruit forward. I'm a little more muted now in my ripe old age of almost 40. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. I want to leave you with a really interesting bright spot when it comes to the world of bars and restaurants and drinking, because this is typically, you know, a time where certain bars aren't seeing a whole lot of traffic because NBA's over, hockey's over, football hasn't started yet. You've got baseball, you've got soccer, but that's about it. But there are now bars that are cashing in on the latest trend, and I think this is great. The people who are in the know have known for many years that there is nothing like the entertainment of the originally British garbage reality show Love Island. My wife turned me onto it years ago. She was onto it when it was barely starting. It's been on in America now for about 6 or 7 years, and people are starting to really pay attention to the point where there are now Love Island watch parties at bars. And I think this is great, especially for a show that's on 6 days a week. 1 hour a day of people just doing nothing and sitting in bikinis and drinking and fighting and drama. And there's nothing better sometimes on a lazy Sunday afternoon than making a couple of margaritas and sitting back on the couch and watching hours of this trash. And I say that as a big fan of the show. So let's see what's going on. Here's CBS Sacramento.
And then there's like drama because they're like,
The Villa
he got there and he chose Sierra and Bella had to go home.
is the talk of the town.
Love Island is like beautiful.
By the way, You want to meet women? Go to one of these parties and ask the girls to explain who everybody is.
Beautiful trash.
From college kids at coffee shops
Couple up with them.
to happy hours.
What do you guys think is going to happen tomorrow's episode? It's genuinely just the ultimate sporting event for anybody that's into reality TV.
Peacock.
It really is.
Peacock's Love Island USA is a hot topic both online and at local bars.
I mean, I work behind a bar, so I hear a lot of things that people are talking about, and it's something that just kind of kept coming up in conversation.
Bar manager Mason Starbird doesn't watch, but heard the chatter and knows new businesses have to get creative.
The first year is always a grind. You have to constantly be, throwing stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
So they threw a Love Island watch party when bars typically don't see foot traffic.
Mondays are pretty slow.
But not anymore.
People were sending...
The thing is, with the Love Island watch party, there's new episodes of this show on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, after sun on Saturday and Sunday. So you got people coming to your bar every night. Maybe it's for happy hour, who knows? But they got to see all the latest garbage. And I love people connecting over this trash.
People were sending it to each other.
And I say that as a term of endearment. I love this show.
People were sending it to each other, and all of a sudden we realized, oh, wow, here we go.
They're running it back tonight with Love Island-themed games. Sacramento's Bar West also cashing in, making specialty Love Island cocktails.
I don't even want to know what that is.
It was like the Super Bowl in here.
This was last Tuesday. 2 stories, completely sold out.
We had to shut our doors at some point just because we couldn't fit any more people in here.
Packed to the brim because people wanted to hang out all together in a communal watching experience to see a coupling up ceremony. I love this.
The Love Island USA Mania is boosting business. And instead of watching it at home alone, it's bringing fans together.
It's genuinely just like a safe space for the ladies. Like, I've never seen so many girls so excited to come together. It makes me really happy. It's one of the most exciting events I've been a part of.
Well, there you go. If you want to get in on the craze, Love Island USA is on Peacock, and you can go watch it at the bars and meet like-minded people that like reality trash. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.